good to meet you.
Good evening. We'd like to open the planning board meeting of Wednesday, October 25th at 7 p.m. Present tonight, we have Guy Horn, Vice Chairman, Pam Humphrey, Clerk of the Board, Mark Marziotti, Chairman, and our Town Planner, Don Johnson. So we'll move right into first item on the agenda, approval of the minutes for September 27th, 2017. Looking for a motion to approve.
Mr. Chairman, I'd like to make a motion to approve the minutes from the meeting of September 27th, 2017, as written.
Great. We have a motion.
I'll second that motion.
Okay, we have a motion and a second to approve the minutes of September 27th. All those in favor say aye. Aye. Opposed? Unanimous? So we'll send those around for signature, or they're in here, right? You just need one, Don?
Just one signature copy,
Okay, moving on to item B, discussion on finishing construction of and acceptance of uncompleted and unaccepted subdivision streets. Don, you've done a great job at bringing some contractors in here that have owned subdivisions, and we had some in our last meeting. I don't know if you have any updates on that at this time.
Well, I guess we do have one update.
Okay.
Tony's here.
Tony. How you doing, Tony?
Good, good.
Come on up.
Could you sign in, please, Tony? Could you sign in, please?
Okay, this is about the telephone, right?
Yeah. Your request. I got a call from Brave Engineering from Jeff Walsh. He told me that Tony had asked him about waiving the requirement for the installation of telephone conduit because nobody's using it. And since that was approved as a condition on the plans, they did all the plans at that time, I just thought that it would really be a board matter that Tony should discuss with the board.
Wow. What was Graves' feeling?
I told him I thought it was a board issue because it's an issue of a condition of approval, so it shouldn't be discussed at this level. I don't have the authority to waive anything.
Yeah. No,
but people don't use it anymore. People don't use the phone cable anymore. They either get phone on their and phone, the phone lines.
Well, I mean, nobody's a strong word. I wouldn't say that nobody does.
It's not in that subdivision.
Yeah,
Well,
I mean, I use it, and the thing is, you don't know who's gonna live there tomorrow. Somebody could sell their house, and an older couple moves in, and then if they don't have a way to hook up the telephone to their house, they're gonna be upset.
It's not really a big deal, but since I installed those, the conduit like 10 years ago, and they never put the wires through, all right, it's like I'm burying money for no reason. So I just decided to ask a question, but again, if I have to put it in, I'll put it in. It's not a problem.
Yeah, I would say, I think we're better off to be safe than sorry on that one. Because like I said, we don't know who's gonna live there in the future. Somebody moves in with a handicapped child or something, and they need a phone line. They don't have a cell phone that, or they don't have cell phone reception.
Right. I totally understand. No, it's no big deal. I just.
The people in the subdivision were getting it off the cable at this point.
yeah.
So, but that's not always an option, I guess.
Right.
Yeah, I mean, if it's there, it's easy to install, but if it's not, they gotta dig up the sidewalks or the edge of the road to reinstall it. It's just, I mean, you're in the last phase, right?
Is one more phase, so.
There's one more phase? Okay,
Yeah.
so you're in the third phase out of 4, and I
Yeah.
mean, you're more than halfway done, so I would just finish it.
It's all right. Okay, again, it's no big deal. It's
Yeah.
just, I just
Hey,
hate
no
to
harm to
bury money.
raise, no harm to raise the question, you know, I think we've been flexible with you, but that's one that I'm certainly not comfortable with, and it sounds like a couple of the other board members aren't either.
That's perfectly
Okay.
fine, not a problem.
Okay.
All right, so are we gonna bring that,
Well,
talk
You
about
you
that
can
now?
bring it up, I don't know what the board, you know, wasn't on the agenda, but you can bring it up if you like.
What is it,
Okay.
Tony?
If you can explain what happened?
Well,
show
before you
the
pull them
board-
all out, let's get an explanation of what you want to talk about, because we have a public hearing, and it wasn't on the agenda, I just want to make sure that,
Okay,
We
I
have
don't know
time
what
for it.
happened. I'm not drinking really, but I built a house too close to the lot line. So, so you have to move the lot line a little bit to steal from another lot.
To meet the setback? To meet the setback.
I did-
You didn't meet the setback, so you're gonna change the lot line to meet the setback.
That's right. So we can meet, we need 25 feet. Now we have 28. But I don't know, it was maybe a pile of rocks that was over there that kind of get me off, whatever. So,
All right.
so we need to change the lot lines.
so the drawings that are here now have that modification already made on it?
Yes.
So it's just an A&R plan.
Yep.
Is there any waivers?
No.
And you have the paperwork's all filled out?
Paper's all filled out, but, yeah.
Yeah, there's one, there's two
I'm looking for
waivers.
topography, contours of 2 feet. Evidence that each building lot created has adequate access, including access to the site, to road, access, including access road to the site. Profile of existing grades. We need to take a look at the plan.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, it's pretty cut and dried, so we could probably just get it taken care of. If you guys are okay with it?
Yeah, I think
What
it'll be
are we-
okay.
It's just, the house is just 3 feet off of what it was supposed to be? Is that what I'm,
I think it's about 3 feet. They have too close to the lot line. Yeah. So, and again, I mean, I thought Andy, because he talked about this thing, and he's supposed to get the plans ready like before. When I called him today, are we going to the meeting today? So, oh boy, I didn't do the plans yet. So, yeah, I'm trying to close on this house like in the next week or so.
Okay, take a look at the plan quick. I think it's pretty simple.
which one are we talking about? This one?
So we're talking about lot 48R,
Yes.
and you're taking land off of lot 47R1?
That's right.
So this line just moves back, basically.
Well, it must have been the whole line. That whole thing had
Well, there's a notch in the line right here, so it looks like it came straight for 49 feet, and then they pushed it up for this 145 feet, or it's on a different bearing, 76 degrees instead of 85 degrees. But you've got enough room here. So this is over an acre, and this is still over an acre.
Yeah.
Yeah,
And it hasn't
and
changed.
they both have plenty of frontage. Well, the frontage might have changed a little over
Yeah,
here,
yeah.
3 feet, but it's not gonna affect anything.
Okay.
All right, it's all signed by the surveyor? Topher, okay.
You all right, Pam, with that?
Yeah, I think so.
Mr. Chairman, I'd like to make a motion that we approve the 3 waivers requested on a plan of land, an A&R plan of land, lots 48R and 47R1. This is Noble Street, Pierpont Estates. The owner is listed as Depot Road, Charlton LLC. We're talking about deed booking page 38337, and that's the deed book. Page is 243. Plan book 853, page 6, and book 859, page 47. Dudley tax map number 205, parcels 53.5 and 53.49. The waivers are 5E, topography and of the land contours at 2-foot intervals. Evidence that each building lot to be created has adequate access, including access to the access road to the site, and profile of existing grades. These are all subdivision lots on an existing, on a previously approved subdivision plan. So I don't think we're gonna have a problem with that. There's access already there. So just those 3 waivers would be the first motion.
Okay. And before we get to the second motion, do we have the check for $200 for this?
We do.
Okay, we have a motion.
I'll second that motion.
Okay, we have a motion and a second to approve the A&R plan aforementioned. All those in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Unanimous.
Mr. Chairman, I'd like to make a motion that we approve the plan of land, A&R plan, lots 48R, 47R1, Noble Street, Pierpont Estates, deed book 38337, page 243. Plan book is 853, page 6, and book 859, page 47. Dudley tax map 205, parcels 53.5 and 53.49.
Okay, we have a motion.
I'll second that motion.
We have a motion and a second to approve the A&R plan. All those in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed?
What's your schedule for completion, the first 2 phases?
One, all subdivision or?
First 2 phases.
Do you have the invitation space?
It's gonna change a little bit because we start to like, we lost our time. So, but we'll be done next week, next year. We get them next year.
Me too, Mike.
Yeah.
Same two paper copies?
Oh, you want the original, Don?
2 paper copies. These are-
Yeah. These are. So Tony, we made an exception tonight because it was an A&R plan, but typically if it's not on the agenda, we really can't meet on it. I just want you to know, okay?
I apologize for that, and
Yep.
thank you very much.
Okay,
I just need two of these, right?
okay. Thank you, Tony, for understanding.
No problem.
No problem, thanks. You too. Okay. We are going to move on to discussion on the status of economic development planning. Ron?
In your notebook, you see a copy of the map that was done for the Economic Development Commission. You can see it's kind of revealing how much Chapter 61A land really had.
On chapter 61 lands, so pretty near half the town. Or at least 40%, I would say. Yeah, I attended that meeting with Mr. Sullivan, and Don was there also. They didn't have a quorum that evening, so they couldn't do a lot of their stuff on the agenda, but they did run through the agenda. This was one of the things that they had worked up. And then they went over the survey that they have posted on the town's website. And I think at the meeting, he said he had something like 40 or 50 responses.
So 55, I think you said.
55 responses from townspeople, and he was hoping to get 200 responses from town people. So if you haven't taken the survey, it's on the town's website. And it's also available for people who don't live in town, Dudley, but want to have input. There's an option there for non-residents. And they were looking at putting one together for Nichols College students to have input also.
Okay.
Yeah, the work with CMRPC is ongoing, and depending on what comes out, I'm not sure exactly what the EDC's wishes are, but they may have a presentation on the 15th. That'll be the November meeting.
Okay. And depending on what they come up with for a proposal, it may require us to rezone some areas of town. It seems like the corridor that they want to work on first is West Main Street. We've already done rezoning on West Main Street multiple times, but if there's something that we missed or that's something that needs to change to make it more advantageous for economic development, then we'll have to look into it when we get there.
Also today, actually yesterday, I attended a meeting at CMRPC about brownfields money that's available. And also been talking to them about the community development block grant possibility for some work in town on those programs. The brownfields grant is due on the 16th of November, so I don't think we're going with that one. CDBG, we may talk to them about doing something next year,
Okay.
but it takes a long time to prepare, so it's good to start early.
Is there any open brownfield cases that you know of in Dudley right now?
I'm not sure on the status of the mill, but there were two that were checked into. One was a gas station next to the liquor store, next to Marty's,
Yep,
and apparently that's been taken care of.
right.
And we know the status of the one where Dunkin' Donuts is going right now. That's been taken care of to the extent possible. And the one thing that the Sewer and Water Commission, there's a special permit granting authority on that for the Water Overlay Protection District. Granted the permit with the condition that they don't disturb the subsoil for drainage. In other words, they don't do leaching systems, they just leave it as it was.
The only one that I know of that I don't know if it's still open or if it's been closed was the old dye house that was given to the town. That's kind of across the street from the Stevens Linen Mill off of Village Street.
Okay.
It was
Yeah.
up in the back behind the dam.
Yeah, there's no building there anymore, but,
They tore the building down?
yeah.
Okay. So I don't know if that's still considered a brownfield or not. But we could probably look into that for next year. Yeah. Okay.
All right. Any more discussion on that? We good? Yeah? Good guy?
Yep.
All right, so we will move on to public hearing. And so, at 7:25, we would like to open the public hearing for 4 articles to amend the zoning bylaws and/or zoning map on the warrant for the town meeting this October 30th, 2017. So read the public hearing notice pursuant to Mass General Law, Chapter 40A, Section 5. The Dudley Planning Board will hold a public hearing on Wednesday, October 25th, 2017 at 7:15 PM in the Dudley Municipal Complex, Room 321A, DMC Veterans Memorial Hall, 71 West Main Street, Dudley, Mass. 01571, to receive and review public input on 4 articles to amend the zoning bylaws and/or zoning map, which will be on the warrant for the annual town meeting to be held at Shepherd Hill Regional High School at 68 Dudley Oxford Road, Dudley, Mass. On October 30th, 2017 at 7 p.m. The purposes of these 4 articles are summarized as follows. So Article 1, which actually will be Article 35, is to amend the zoning bylaws, Section 5.01.06, applicability. Third sentence by removing the phrase "to" after the word "after" and before the word "years" and inserting it into the place of phrase 3. This amendment is for consistency with the recent amendments to Section 9 of Chapter 40 Mass General Law, whereby the time frame within which the rights authorized by special permit shall lapse has been extended from 2 years to 3 years. Article 2, which will actually be Article 32, to amend the zoning bylaw section 6.01.01 definitions listing by removing the existing definition of the term frontage in its entirety and by removing the existing term lot frontage and its definition in their entirety, and inserting in their place a revised definition of the term frontage such that the intent of the term frontage and the purpose of lot frontage will be clarified. Third article, which would be Article 34, to amend the zoning bylaw, Section 4.03.00, sign standards by removing the existing Section 4.0302.02, commercial and industrial sign standards in its entirety, and inserting a revised Section 4.03.02 in its place, which includes the sections 4.03.02, commercial, industrial, and institutional sign standards for lots within the Business 15, Industrial 43, Industrial 130, Light Industrial 43, and Light Industrial 87 districts. 4.0302.01, signs not requiring a sign permit. 4.03.02.02, commercial sign standards, and finally, 4.03.02.03, industrial and institutional sign standards. The proposed text of these sections include revised standards to the allowed type, size, and location of signs associated with the uses within the Business 15, Industrial 43, Industrial 130, Light Industrial 43, Light Industrial 87 districts. This article also includes an amendment to Section 4.03.03, Illumination and Motion Regulations, Paragraph C, by removing the phrase 100 square feet gross display area and replacing it with the phrase the size specified in Section 4.03.02. And then finally, Article 4, which will essentially be Article 33 at town meeting, is to see if the town will vote to amend the zoning bylaw and zoning bylaw map relative to large-scale ground-mounted photovoltaic installations by amending Section 3.12.00, large-scale solar photovoltaic 3.12.02 applicability. Second paragraph, by adding text immediately after the existing second sentence of said paragraph, which establishes the solar overlay district, within which, on lots that contain an area of not less than 4 acres, the construction and use of large ground-mounted solar photovoltaic installations shall require a special permit issued by the planning board. The solar overlay district is proposed to be superimposed on the underlying zoning districts as shown on the map entitled Zoning Map Amendment, Proposed Solar Overlay District, Parcel 21213, Oxford Avenue, dated October 3rd, 2017, which map would be made a part of the zoning bylaws and official zoning map and is on file in the office of the planning board and the town clerk. The complete text of these articles and associated maps and the town of Dudley official zoning maps and the town of Dudley zoning maps may be viewed in the planning board office or the town clerk's office, which are located in the Dudley Municipal Complex, 71 West Main Street, Dudley, Mass. 01571, during regular working hours. Planning board will receive public input at the public hearing. Any person interested or wishing to be heard should appear at the time and place designated. If you wish to comment but are unable to attend, please submit written comments to the planning board office before 4:30 p.m. on October 25th, 2017. Mark Marziotti, Chairman, Dudley Planning Board. Ran 2 times in 2 consecutive weeks, October 11th and 2017 and October 18th, 2017. With that, we are open to have a dialogue about each of those articles. Don, have you received any written
It's not at all.
requests about any of these?
Not at all, no.
Okay.
Okay, Mr. Chairman, my opinion of Article, well, the first one, which is going to be Article number 35, this is more or less just a housekeeping issue because of the state law change.
Mhm.
So I wouldn't I don't think we, I don't think I would have an issue with this in any way, seeing how it's just to keep us current with the current state law. We can
I
see-
agree.
We can see if anybody in the audience
Yeah, if
wants
there's
to come.
anybody here to wish to speak about Article 1 or number 35? Okay. Pam, any comments? You agree?
I agree.
Yeah, okay.
Okay, so Article 2, the definition of the lot frontage. I do think this was confusing, and the fact that we're getting rid of two definitions and reducing it to just one definition, so it's clearer and more, or has more specificity would be a good thing, not a bad thing.
Mhm.
I think this partially came up when we just had those 9 lots that got approved for, was it Men's Zone Drive and on Progress Ave. The engineer that was here representing the landowners on that particular one was using both definitions to benefit him in all different ways.
Mhm.
So I think this will be a lot clearer for the future going forward.
Exactly. Okay. I'm in agreement with that as well.
Yep, I agree.
Pam, yes? Anyone in the audience wish to speak about Article number 32?
Okay, and this Article number 3 or Article 34 regarding the sign standards. Correct me if I'm wrong, Don, but I believe this was brought up by our local town building inspector.
Well, he and I both had calls from a party in California who was working somehow on the signs on Airport Plaza.
Okay,
And we looked at that section, and we couldn't make heads or tails of it.
okay,
So we tried to make it a little a lot clearer. So there's a couple of different sections. One has to do with commercial signage, like businesses, like a shopping center type thing, or, single businesses along the roadway.
mhm,
It's more oriented toward use rather than toward district. And there's a different standard for institutional or industrial developments, land uses.
mhm.
And we've made some clearer standards for the signage, size, which I hope makes it a lot clearer than it was before.
Mhm. So in general, this was all just clarification for not only the building inspector, but yourself, and was brought up by a question from a property owner.
Right. I worked on it quite a bit with Nelson. We worked on it quite a bit together. He's pretty satisfied with it now.
Okay.
It's a lot clearer, a lot more understandable what the sizes are that were allowed than was before.
Okay. I'm in agreement. Pam?
Yeah, I'm fine with it.
Mhm. Anyone in the audience wish to speak about Article 34?
Okay, and our last article would be, on our agenda, it's Article 4, but on the town meeting warrant, it will be Article 33. This is basically a overlay district that would be applied in our current large-scale solar photovoltaic bylaw, and basically proposing a solar overlay district for a parcel of land on Oxford Avenue for a future large-scale ground-mounted solar voltaic installation. This overlay district could also be utilized for other lots in town. Correct me if I'm wrong, but the way that we would do this in the future for other lots would be the applicant would come before the planning board, would ask us to sponsor their lot. We would have to sponsor an article on the town meeting warrant, go to town meeting, and basically let the town.
What the text is here, it's essentially a map change, I'd say.
Right. So
But essentially, us as a board would probably look at some point to maybe identify some areas that make sense
Mhm.
to,
Right.
for overlay, and then maybe we could sponsor our own warrant article to support other areas if
Right.
we felt so inclined.
Sure.
And that was one of the things that, that map that was brought up by the Economic Development Committee, where it shows all the chapter land.
That's right.
You know, basically, if it's already in agricultural protection or conservation protection, it probably wouldn't be going before us for a
Mhm.
large-scale solar
Right.
array,
All the 61
All
would
the
not be
60
included in that.
pretty much.
So it's like you said, 40 to 50% of the town would be excluded from that, but.
Yeah.
So again, not a big change to what our current bylaw is. So I'm in agreement with that, Pam?
Yep.
Yes, great. Anyone here wish to speak about Article 33? Okay. Great. Thank you for outlining those for us, Guy. So if there's no additional board discussion and there's no audience discussion, I will close the public hearing. So at approximately 7:38, we will close the public hearing for the discussion of the zoning bylaws and on the zoning map for the town meeting, October 30th, 2017. Okay.
You want to vote on the articles now?
Yeah.
Okay. All right, Mr. Chairman, I'd like to make a motion that we approve the a change or amendment to the zoning bylaws for the, which is, what's our Article number 1, which is going to be Article 35 on the town meeting warrant for the timeframe change from 2 years to 3 years on the special permits.
Okay. We have a motion to approve Article 35.
I'll second that motion.
We have a second. All those in favor, say aye.
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 Opposed? Unanimous?
Mr. Chairman, I'd like to make a motion that we approve Article 32 on the definition on the lot frontage for the Town of Dudley zoning bylaws.
I'll second that motion.
We have a motion and a second to approve Article 32, to amend the zoning bylaws. All those in favor, say aye. Opposed? Unanimous?
Mr. Chairman, I'd like to make a motion that we approve Article 34, Dudley zoning bylaws, section having to do with sign standards.
I'll
Okay,
sec-
we have a motion?
I'll second that motion.
And we have a motion and a second to approve Article 34 to amend the sign standards by removing existing text. All those in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed?
And lastly, Mr. Chairman, I'd like to make a motion that we approve Article number 33 with the addition of the overlay district for the large-scale solar voltaic zoning bylaw, and including the new proposed solar overlay district map.
Okay, we have a motion.
I'll second that motion.
Okay, we have a motion and a second to approve Article 33 to add text to establish a solar overlay district and amending the zoning map accordingly. All those in favor, say aye. Aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Unanimous? Okay, great. So, for anyone in question, essentially, the Dudley Planning Board has supported the 4 articles that will go to town meeting on October 30th at the Shepherd Hill Regional High School at 7 p.m. And if the townspeople are in agreement to support these articles, then they will pass. And then after they're passed, they go to the Attorney General for approval. And as soon as they're approved, then they're law. So, any questions? Anyone? Think we're good?
Well, what's the board's preference in doing a report? Think we should meet before the meeting, just in case?
We're gonna have dinner?
No.
Why?
And at 6:30.
All right,
Too close.
all right.
Does the board want to meet at 6:30? I have to post it tomorrow. Just in case something comes up, we'll have a written report, just with these recommendations.
6:30 on October 30th is what you're suggesting.
Right.
It's fine with
Okay,
me.
it's fine.
Would
Oh,
you
you
let
would-
Kevin know?
Sure. Absolutely.
Okay. All right, great. Thank you. Okay, moving on in our agenda, the next item is D, Planner's Plate.
Got quite a bit on my
Planner?
plate.
Speaking of dinner,
Haven't had dinner yet?
Right.
right,
First of all, in your tab D, in your notebook, I have a notice of the Citizen Planners Training Collaboratives, fall workshops. Anybody would like to go, let me know, and I'll see what's signing up, if somebody you'd like to go to. They're all listed there. You can certainly find it on the website as well. Get a little bit more information than is there as well. Next is a copy of the email string between Greg Balakonis and myself. We brought on a planning board office clerk. I don't know if any of you know Carol Savard. She works in the Conservation Commission presently as well. So she's just coming in a few more hours a week to do the planning board minutes and to do the vouchers and things of that type. She's done this for the Conservation Commission for some time. I believe that she might have worked for the town board of selectmen at one point in time as well.
mhm. That's great. Starts on the 25th.
Started today.
So she's essentially going to be doing what, meeting minutes?
Essentially meeting minutes and preparing for the meetings.
Okay. Good, so Wednesdays will be helpful.
Right. Okay, next, the reports from Graves Engineering, having to do with the two solar developments, the one next to the high school, the one on Farley Road. There's reports of what he found at the final inspection. Basically satisfied. One of them, he suggested doing a little bit more hydro seeding, that's about it.
Mhm.
And these comments were forwarded to the solar companies already?
I believe he CC'd them.
Okay.
Mhm.
Mhm.
Okay. And there's the annual review, annual employee review period. Now, I'm a little bit behind on my self-evaluation, but I'll get that shortly. It's been quite a
Go
busy,
easy on yourself, Tom.
quite a busy month. So I'll see if I can get that completed by next meeting. Take it from there.
Mhm.
I've been, and then I also have a copy. I think you've seen this letter from Dan. You want to introduce yourself at this point, or?
My name is Dan Edmiston. I sent a letter to Mr. Johnson as well as his Board of Selectmen, submitting my name for consideration to be nominated to fill the vacancy in the board.
That's great. So you're on the FAA now?
Correct, yes.
Yeah.
Yes. I spoke with Michelle. She kind of suggested that I wait until after the town meeting, obviously, and then if everybody's in favor, then I could resign from that position and join you guys.
Okay. There's a lot of high pressure here, you know.
I understand. But here trying to learn the ropes right now.
Not more than the FAA, I can't imagine, but, okay, if that's your pleasure. So I'm not sure that, you know, that we can take a vote at this point until you're available. I mean, I don't know the
Big
right.
joint meeting anyway.
Yeah, we have to have a
Okay.
joint meeting with the Board of
Okay.
Selectmen.
Okay, great.
But-
Well, it was
but-
good to see you in person, and Don had shared with us your interest, and we're excited about that, so we look
Excitement
forward
share.
to,
Looking forward to it as well.
yeah, look forward to your endorsement, so.
Thank you.
All right, thank you, thanks
Thank
for
you for
coming.
your interest.
I've been updating the zoning bylaws based on the amendments that were approved by the AG, the ones that we approved in May. It's quite a process to amend the whole book, because every time you move something, something moves somewhere else. and I'm getting there. Hopefully we'll finish that within the next week.
Good. So I meant to ask you, Don, I didn't read through these, and I will, but overall, the solar projects, Graves was satisfied?
Overall, yes.
Yeah. Couple little
Little
tidbit things that he,
tidbit things like
okay.
landscaping issues and
all right. All right, good. Good reading.
2 weeks back, I attended a meeting on recreational marijuana again. And although a moratorium is approved, I'm not quite sure how this affects us. The Cannabis Control Commission is doing hearings right now, and they are due to develop the draft regulations by April 1st. And the final regulations are supposed to be in place by July 1st next year. We have a moratorium until November 15th. I don't know what happens, somebody would come in with an application between now and then, but we don't have it listed as a use anyway in the zoning bylaws, so
Okay, so
it's
it's,
questionable.
the moratorium that we have is in play till November of
15th,
this year or next year?
next year.
Next year,
Yeah,
okay.
next year.
So it should give us a little time to catch our breath, and we can probably see what other towns have put in play for rules and regulations, and maybe we
A lot
can
going on out there.
duplicate it, or,
There's a good website, too, that's available, sponsored by I think it's the Association of Regional Planning Commissions.
so I think it would fall under the same classification with what we had a few years back. Is probably, this is probably like 5 or 6 years back, maybe even longer now, I can't remember the exact time, but there was a time when we went to town meeting, and there was a big to-do with adult entertainment zones. And at the time, Dudley did not have an adult entertainment zone, so we had to propose one, and we did, and it passed. It's out in West Dudley, off of Route 131, near the old paper mill, I think it is,
Oh.
near Paper Mill Road. So I think it's currently being used as a dumpster storage location. But I think if you don't propose a location, they can kind of go anywheres.
Anywhere you allow restaurant, entertainment, anything of that type,
Right. So we'll definitely want to propose a,
bookstore, you know, anything.
yeah,
But nothing, after you proposed it and passed it, nothing went in there? Nothing's been,
for the adult entertainment zone, nothing went in, no.
It was
That's-
more or less for protection, just to
Mhm.
make sure it doesn't end up on Main Street, because if you don't have one,
We
then,
can put it
Right,
on
like
Main Street.
anywhere.
Right. So we'll need to cover our bases and do the same thing for this, I would imagine. We'll just have to take a look at, available areas in town and where we would like to put it. Maybe we can make it next door to the adult entertainment center, I don't know.
If we were doing built.
Or do both, yeah.
Town line,
Yeah.
state line.
Yeah.
Mhm.
So, we'll have to come up with something.
The thing I put in that section is there are a couple of things I'd like to add to the website. Sort of a description of the planning board's duties in general, and what you should expect at a planning board meeting.
Yeah, those are good, I like that.
Yeah.
Where'd you get that? You just,
I've been developing that over the years.
That's
Places
good,
I've
very
been
good.
Before and stuff like that.
that'd be great for, new members,
Yeah.
Anything.
Put that on right now if you want. What's the board's pleasure on that one?
Oh, you're saying put it on the website?
I could.
Yeah. I don't see any, I think it's great. I think it's good information, the first few pieces that I read, and it's, you know, commonly asked questions, and I think it's good for, you know, good for a, you know, a first-time contractor coming, you know, it's gonna be a public hearing or whatever, what, you know, what should I expect, and I'm okay with it. If you guys feeling?
It's very good.
Yeah, I think if you want to put it, if you want to see if the webmaster can put it on the webpage under the planning board.
Yeah, the website needs, the planning board webpage needs a little help, so I'm
Okay.
working on that too.
All right.
Clean that up next week or two.
Good.
It's my plate.
It's a good one. All right. Any comments from the planning board? Or from the audience?
I have nothing.
All right, great. So we'll entertain a motion to adjourn.
Make a motion to adjourn?
Here, we got a motion
I'll second that motion.
and a second. All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Good night. Thanks, Rick.